Happy Saturday. I am sharing with you from a place of overflow. Like how I feel, I cannot keep it to myself. And that's when I jump on. So I got a lot of good things going on today and this weekend, but I cannot take one more step without connecting with you. I just ended the first session of the Brave Your Abundance course. And I'm not sharing to convince anyone to jump on or to overly market this. And the reason I'm saying this stuff out loud is that's what my brain is trying to convince me, these lies, these limiting beliefs, these fears that I have. Listen, I am showing up, going through those fears to share love, to inspire. And I know that on the weekends, we're busy, we do many different things. And so, maybe you're listening to this at a totally different time, and that is great. But for me to you, I am just coming forward from a place of pure, like mind blowing. I just can't believe the beauty of what I just experienced. So I'm going to talk about the course. And if at any point you want to sign up, you can. But I'm going to talk about the course only because this is what I do when I have my coaching sessions. I get these insights from the coaching sessions or from things that I read and just things that I love. And if they incite something in me, if there's just this great, gorgeous insight, it's hard for me to keep it to myself. And I want to put it out there in the world. And so I just want to try the best I can to share a couple insights with you. This is listen, the Brave Your Abundance course, even if you don't sign up, it's this concept of, do we realize how lies and limiting beliefs, fear is such a liability to our abundant, joy-filled, free life? We don't even realize it. We because we're in the pattern of the everyday, from brushing our teeth to brushing our teeth. We go throughout the day and we think that, like, this is it. This is life. And it's good or it's not so good, whatever. And it's just like, but this is my life. And it's like, what I'm inviting you into, what I'm always being invited into is like, there's always more. It's way more than we could ever dream or hope or imagine. And I don't know if I'm glowing, but leaving this group of women who signed up for this, it created, once I stepped into space with this group of women, and then I bravely said yes to hosting and to putting it out there exactly as God told me. And there were some fears I had to get through to do it exactly as my Father intended, so that there would just be this space that I didn't even know what it would be like until I said yes and I showed up. And then these different women showed up and said yes. And then when we started going through the what I had thought would be the teaching and just the inspiration, um, all the insights that he wanted to share through me, and then how the others were co-laboring with me and interacting with me in this slice of heaven. Woo, I can't even handle it. I have notes and notes of insights because when these women shared, they don't even realize that the lies that they're believing, or they shared a truth, or they shared a quick little something that applied to the teaching. And then what we all benefited from, y'all, I can't wait to share a couple of these. I don't know if I can get my thoughts together enough to share, but I'm not going to share the essence of the course because it's meant for the course, it's meant for the group. But here's some of the insights. And not just in this group, but when I've been having conversations with clients, and I've been having conversations with friends and my own friend, coworker, my confessing out lies that I'm believing, fear that I might be having, all that limit this time of creation. that this season, going into the December and January season, this is such a season to receive. This is such a season to receive truth, a gift, and then to create and to see like what's being birthed and what's possible. And what I love about this is it's no matter what is going on, no matter what we're experiencing. Because normally I'm holding space for people's experience. We're doing a lot of healing and and just resetting our soul and our spirit, and just the coaching sessions and all the other classes that I do, even the abundance academies and the patiently enduring. Obviously patiently enduring is smack dab in the middle of it. We're talking about enduring, and standing in the tension. And the Abundance Academy is, what might I be believing? Who do I think I am? What is my identity? What might I be believing? What are my thoughts and my feelings? Like really tapping into being more self-aware in our thought life and our patterns. And then that influences the way we show up in life, and that influences the way we respond. No, 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 no. Yes, yes, that's wonderful. But this Brave Your Abundance course, it already was so impactful, because we're not talking, I mean, this is high invite, high love course, but it's also high challenge. Everyone who's signing up is signing up because they're saying, I'm going through this, but I want to see it through the lens of love and abundance. And we're not talking about the foundational stuff. We're talking about God is inciting something in you. He wants you to move into action. He wants to create something. He wants you. Yes, you. He wants you to get over the lies that you're believing, the limiting beliefs that you don't even realize are such a liability to your abundance. But there's all the reasons why. I'm not going to sign up for that. I'm not going to be part of that. I don't have enough time. Your left brain tells you all the reasons why not to. And these women that I got to hang out with, because I'm getting challenged too, I'm putting myself through this course. We're willing to be uncomfortable. Good morning, Lourdes. Good morning, Brooke. Hi. Yes, no matter what, and even if. That's what this course is all about. We're not talking at all about the circumstances of our life. And I know some of these women who joined this course, their circumstances are so tough. It could be because of financial. It could be because of even a battle in the court system. It could be because of a desire and a dream they have, and it's hurting because the family structure that they want is just, it's not what is happening. It could be because there's just a tough marriage or relationship issue, financial issue, all the things, raising kids and persevering through that. And it's like, we're not even talking about that. We're not even addressing that. We're saying no matter what and even if. And so here's what I guarantee that you don't even realize the lies that you speak. The story that you're believing, not only about your life, but about that person's life and in relationship. And we think that it's what we see is what it is. And there's always more. And I mean, God, to me, he's like tuned up the frequency of when I'm listening to people speaking. I'm like, oh my goodness, you are functioning not only from lies and limiting beliefs, that's such a liability to your abundance, but you are saying statements that are attached to your belief system that are halting you. And some of those are good. Some of those are right. They keep us safe. They keep us protected. They keep us, kind of going on with what really it should be. That's good, left brain. Thank you, left brain. Thank you for having a plan, left brain. Thank you for just wanting to make sure I'm safe, left brain. But what about the other side of our brain? We don't even realize we're functioning from a place of limiting beliefs because we're not even tapping into the possibilities and what else do you want me to see, and we're trying to create. I mean, I want to scream from the rooftops, which is why I'm doing this. This is me standing on the top of my roof just saying to you, will you please listen in? And most times We aren't even realizing how the patterns of our world, forget even the patterns of the world, the patterns of Tara's thinking, the patterns of my memories, the patterns coming from my life, my family patterns, the patterns of what I've tried already that did or didn't work, the patterns of someone else's dream, the pattern of how someone else, the voice of someone else, the patterns of my mind, my will, my emotions. We don't even realize that we're so engrossed in a pattern that pulls us back to a safe place so that we don't take risks because we don't want to get hurt, or we don't want to experience discomfort, or we want to have all of our ducks in a row before we move forward. I'm not even speaking on like these insights. So here's one of these insights that I get just being in this group of braving your abundance, brave, courage, stepping into no matter what, and even if. So the reason that we're talking is because of the creation and the birthing of something beautiful. And I'll get into that in a minute. And then moving into the New Year season where like we go through this process with such guilt and shame and what needs to be fixed and what do I more behavior modification. And this group of people are getting together being willing to flip the script. And so we talked about sweet little baby Jesus. And I'm not giving you all the insight of the group because that's for the group, but here's a couple things I do think is just a natural overflow that I want you to be part of. We have these desires and these expectations. We have these wants, these desires, which is what the group is talking about. And I'm telling you now, tap into what you want and what you desire. Start going for it. But we have these things that we want that we think that is going to serve us well based on our left brain. And then we're expecting it's going to come delivered to us. It's going to come presented to us in this certain way. But the reality is, and I'm going to use the Christmas season for a minute, where there's this group of people that are wanting this warrior and this king, and they're wanting to be saved by someone who's strong and who's adorned in all this army gear and has all the weaponry and has all the tools and all the knowledge and all the ability and the force within him or herself to come and save the day. This is the thing I've been waiting for, we say. This is the thing that I've been wanting. And then what? It's coming in the form of what? And in the Christmas season, we are realizing and remembering it's coming in the form of squishy baby Jesus. And we miss it. We miss the answer. We miss the call. We miss the invite. We miss the delivery. We miss the gift that's perfect for our desires because we think it's just, but that's just a squishy baby. That's just what? That's not my king. That's not my answer. That's not going to protect me. That's not going to do it. That's not enough. What are you talking about? That's going to take faith. That's going to take risk. I'm uncomfortable believing that it's coming in this form. We're flipping the script on what our mind, what we think we need. And we're saying, could it be delivered right before us? And all these Jesus moments through the Jesus, but all these moments, and it's like, wait, that's it? The simplicity and the beauty, and something was delivered, something was birthed, something's within us. And we're like, no, that can't be it. Because I'm believing with my left brain, this, and this. It doesn't match up to what Tara sees and believes and is expecting. So we just had such a great conversation about this. And then when women start sharing and they start talking, what's so amazing about this group is that it is only powerful when we show up in the group and we start sharing stuff, and the insights that came out of each person, and not everyone shared, and that's okay. Some people had to be on and they They shut down their screen and they just wanted to listen, and that's okay. Some people can't join us on Saturday mornings, and that's okay. Because I record the sessions and I post it in the group for others to watch later. And yes, the power of the Holy Spirit will be alive and active even if you're not present in it. But being present is something special. So even if you're like, oh, I can't join on Saturday mornings, that's okay. And here's why I'm putting it out here more and more and more, because I'm getting over my beliefs, my lies, the pattern of the way that I think. I don't want to talk about this stuff on a Saturday. Nobody cares. Who cares? I'm storytelling. I'm thinking on your behalf, which would have stopped me from posting this. Well, social media says that people aren't on at this time. I am honoring the way that social media works, but I'm not letting it rule over me when I share things that are just going to completely transform the way we believe, the way we think and feel, the way that we at least process the way we think and feel, the way we show up in the world, the way we respond to the world, and the way that we go after what we desire, no matter what, and even if. And Juliet, I know there are a handful of people who had not a handful, but there's some people who had tech difficulties, and I definitely will help out. And so, yes, there's a handful of you who are, honestly, you're nervous. And I'm not making this for free. I'm not. Through active obedience, through listening to how I want to set this up, there are lies and limiting beliefs and fear and guilt that I got to get over. And there are some of you who are doing the right thing, and you're praying about it. You're thinking about it. Is this the right group for me? But what lies might you be believing to wonder if you should participate? Oh, it already started. It's too late. Lie. Oh, I don't have the same faith and language that Tara uses. I don't think I'll fit in. Lie. Well, I'm not sure I can do Saturday mornings with everything else that I have going on. I don't know. My plate is pretty full. Limiting belief. Well, I mean, and then if you have a sense of peace that this isn't something for you, then great. But if you have confusion and you think it's fear and you think it's lie or a limiting belief, maybe, just maybe, and maybe it's money. Maybe we're all working on our money mindset and we're all wondering about the economy of how it works. But in the kingdom realm, the economy is flipped upside down. God's economy, the kingdom of God, is upside down. And maybe it is money. Well, that's why I gave you 3 options to join us. And again, I'm pausing right now because I, as Tara, don't want to keep putting myself out on social media, don't want to keep marketing myself. And God's like, why? What lie are you believing? You know what this course will do for people. You know it will set them free. You know that they will receive the overload that you have. Like, it's just gushing from me. But yet my fear and my lies and the limiting beliefs about you, I'm thinking for you. Now they don't want to hear that now. No, I'm going to inundate their inbox. No, it's just, I mean, if they really wanted to, they would have already signed up. That is our opposing force. That's our enemy saying, I don't want people set free. I want them trapped in the patterns of their thinking because I got them comfortable. And so don't put it out there. Don't keep telling people about how incredible our God is and how we can walk through this slice of heaven in a Jagger. He just wants to be right up on in here. And all of the limiting, even the distractions, like what might stop me from telling you about what is right on the other side of the invitation? Let me go back to some things that I just think blew me away. One of the women shared, she just even apologized. And then another woman apologized for, she kind of got a little emotional, or she apologized because what she was about to say was kind of embarrassing or whatever. And one of the other women goes, you know what? I just want to tell you what you just said blessed me so much. So please don't apologize and please don't ever hold back. Do you see right in that exchange? That gave us permission. There's limiting beliefs and lies we're believing all the time. How many of us apologize? I'm so sorry for. Well, I'm so sorry because I'm taking up time. Oh, I'm so sorry because I'm being too emotional. Oh, I'm so sorry. I don't want to speak too much or whatever. That is a limiting belief. that is speaking for someone else, that I got to apologize before I even open my mouth up, because I'm assuming what you might be thinking. How often do we say that? I apologize. Hi, Ariel. Hi, Marcia. Hi, Kathy. Preach it, girl. Come on. So even that was a beautiful insight. And then as I was teaching from the actual teaching, which I'm not going to get into a ton because that is meant for the group, but we were talking about our soul and our spirit, the Mary and Martha that's within each of us, and how we were giving ourselves permission through scripture, through understanding, through like realizing, wait a minute, I thought it was bad to be a Martha. I thought it was, aren't we supposed to rest, be a Mary? It's like, no, we want to do both. We talked about that. And then someone had this beautiful, because that even that, when we're reading scripture, we don't even realize we're have limiting beliefs. We don't even realize that, oh, when I read this or taught this, I didn't even realize I then thought of it this way, which is a limiting belief. And we don't even know we're thinking the limiting belief unless we're in the culture, in this space to challenge it. And the woman said, oh my goodness. So wait a minute, moving into action. There's a balance between rest and considering and creating, which is what this group is all about. Getting that dream and that desire out of you and moving. Yes, moving into action. Well, but I have all these lies and limiting beliefs that don't allow me to move into action. And so these people, we were able to process the balance, and not balance 50-50, but balance for this moment in this time, no matter what, and even if. And then this is a nugget that y'all, I am going to process, and I'm going to do probably a whole message in and of itself. But then this other thing that came out was how she used this analogy. We all entered into it together as this analogy, that she was really frustrated, just anger because of what's going on in her life. And it's not good. It's really a pain point, but she's showing up anyway. And we're not talking about the pain point. Y'all know I don't mind talking about pain points. I don't mind about talking about standing in the tension with our faith, but also talking about the tension. Too often we don't want to talk about the tension. We only want to talk about the faith that it takes to stand in the tension. I like talking about both. But in this Brave Your Abundance course, we really aren't. We're not talking about the tension. We're just recognizing there is tension probably. And we're saying no matter what and even if. So she's talking about the anger. She's not talking about the tension. She's talking about how she feels within it. And then what is so here's her scenario. It was so good. So she was like, I'm coming home from work. I'm coming home from a really long day. I've got all this garbage and I want to throw it in my empty garbage can. And she lives on a lot of property. So she's got a bigger size dumpster, and she's so glad that the dumpster is empty, because she has listen to this language that we would only get if we're like in this situation, not only get, but here's how we're learning to tune up our ears and our eyes and hear from a whole different way. No matter what, and even if we're not even talking about it, we're talking about, she's just saying, I've got garbage. It's metaphorically speaking too. She literally has garbage that she wants to throw away. And she's so excited because she's like, I got to empty all this garbage. It's just weighing so heavy on me, right? You hear both. And then she's entering into her driveway, gets to her garbage receptacle and can't dump it because someone else has dumped their garbage in the receptacle, in the garbage can, the extra. She's like, who? I'm sorry, but I got all this weight. I got all this junk. I got all this garbage that I can't wait to empty into this empty receptacle. But yet someone else's garbage is taking up all the space. So she now already was angry, but then and again, we're not glorifying, not even glorifying. We're not focused on what made her angry. She's just getting to the point of how she created, how it incited her, how the little baby Jesus moment that we were talking about in the teaching, and how it softened her, and how she stepped into the scenario. So she had anger now on top of her anger. And she is thinking through the left part of her brain. And she's like, I want to know. I want to know who is illegally dumping in my dumpster. She couldn't even then dump within. So she couldn't dump in the dumpster. So now she's left with all the garbage. And then she, fast forward somewhere else in her story, she sees this neighbor who is utilizing, and I think she's a newer neighbor or whatever, but she's utilizing this dumpster, her dumpster. And she's looking at her and she's like this 90-pound woman, how she even was able to dump all the stuff in her dumpster from the home all the way, these, large properties, all the way to my dumpster. And she's dumping it in my dumpster. Who does she think she is? And then she didn't handle it well in the moment. And she's confessing, truth telling, because we can only see what we can see with our human eyes unless we're willing to pause and see through the lens of abundance. And she's admitting this is where the apology came from. She didn't stop and pause and see it through the lens of abundance. We don't do that. We don't hit it smack dab in the middle every single time. We miss the mark, don't we? So she's confessing how she missed the mark based on the context of the teaching. Anyway, so she didn't handle it well and had some, some gentle exchanges, but some exchanges with this woman. And then she's talking, in the group, and we're processing it out based on the context of the teaching. And we all had a chance to process it. And I had a chance to say, because of what she confessed out, and she said, because of what you just shared with us, I now am immediately softened, and I can look back at a moment that just happened. And now I see it through the supernatural lens of abundance. I wish I braved my abundance in that moment. But maybe that lady didn't have her own receptacle. Maybe she didn't yet have her own empty receptacle. And we said, maybe that's her baby Jesus. Maybe that's her Jesus. Maybe she doesn't know Jesus yet. Maybe she doesn't have a place that she can go to empty her garbage. You do, but she doesn't. And she felt safe to come over. And I know this is a little bit of a stretch, but we can stretch. This is braving your abundance. You can stretch and see things from a whole new vantage point if you're willing. We're always invited in to see things in the tension in a whole new way. What about the people who don't have their own garbage receptacle yet? A place to lay that weight, to lay that burden, to empty the garbage, to say, can you hold on to this for a moment? But she borrowed yours. The Brave Your Abundance course. We want to be able to see things from a whole new perspective. And maybe by the end of the course, we move into action and we never ever thought we would. And that is going to be something special and something different for everyone who joins, who already has joined or who will join this group. Maybe it's a dream of having a podcast and finally making it come to fruition, no matter what, and even if. And maybe it's a dream of having a conversation, a really difficult conversation with that person for reconciliation, or at least the hope of, or at least just to say, I want to have this conversation. And we're not measuring the two. We're not comparing our desires of maybe in the new year, it's about and I'll get back to the garbage analogy in a minute. Maybe it's about our body health and this vessel and caring for our vessel. And it's going to take courage. We're going to have to brave our abundance. We're going to have to say no to things where we always have said yes for immediate gratification. Maybe it's about relationships and building and forming and reforming. And maybe it's about reaching out and making that new relationship. Maybe it's about braving your abundance and leaving these amazing people. And no one understands but you and me, God. But he's calling me over here to a new territory because I know through my identity who you say I am and who my people are. And you're calling me over here, but that's scaring me because I'm starting all over and I don't want to start all over. And he's saying, but I know these are great people and these are lovely people and you guys have such good reciprocity and you've already built it, but I'm asking you to leave that. Will you leave that comfort and go over here to a whole new place where they need refreshing and they need a new voice. They need your voice. But you don't know what that takes for me to do that. You don't understand the courage that it needs for me to start all over. And when we brave our abundance and we pioneer and we do things that go against a pattern of behaviors or the pattern of how people want you to show up, and I don't even realize the garbage I'm holding on to. Good garbage. But I didn't realize what was once great, needed stuff. That all of a sudden, if I stay here, it's garbage. Why? Because God's calling you here. So what once was wonderful in the heavenly realm, he's like, I need you to unload that. I need you to give that desire and that dream that once was great over here. And I need you to empty it here to free you up. These lies and these patterns, even good patterns, let them go. Even good family patterns, even good ways of taking care of your vessel and your body. Maybe that's no longer useful. Maybe now it is garbage compared to glory in the heavenly realm. But if you could dump it here and give it here and trust me, brave your abundance, brave your calling, brave your identity in Christ, brave who I say you are and who I want you to love wildly, to invite into a realm that I'm asking you, Marcia, to do. Kathy, I'm inviting you to do this, to step out of your comfort zone, Valerie. I'm inviting you into something new, Marlene. Yeah, but this is good and comfortable. Why would I leave that? I need a tissue and my makeup's going to go down my face. But I've been doing this for so long and look, it's serving so many people well. Or I've been doing this for so long and I've been pretending it's good and it's not enough. It's not serving my soul and my spirit well. So maybe it's relationships. Maybe it's your career and your calling. Maybe it's creating something and forming something new that only you and your little baby Jesus. You're waiting for something very different. You have this whole other expectation, but like there's this gift. No, that can't be it. Wait, no, but that's so small. You can't be asking that. What? That? Yes, that. Brave your abundance, which means there will be persecution. There will be people who don't understand you. You will be going against the grain. You will be feeling like you're swimming upstream. You will feel alone every so often, which you're never alone. There's always a party around you. There's Father God, Holy Spirit, Jesus Christ, and the army of angels. There's always a people around you, but you, your flesh, your natural self feel alone. But in the natural, you feel alone. But I'm calling you into something new. I'm asking to co-create, co-labor with you. I'm asking you to take the memories and the testimonies and the greatness and the hardships of the past, and I'm asking you to dump them here. They served a purpose for a moment, and I'm asking you to put them here. And sometimes we need to be in community, and we need to be intentional with that community where we're going to be speaking into not just the meditating on truth, which is great, but also the now move on it. And that's why I'm like, I'm just going to carve out 2 months and we're going to both meditate on truth and we're going to get moving. And we're going to say we're going to do this or follow through with this thing that I've been thinking about, and I'm going to move on it. I'm going to be the Martha, I'm going to be the Mary and the Martha. If you don't know what I'm talking about, that's okay. I'll explain it more if you want to join the group, or if you can talk to me, I'll talk to you more about it later, but I'm getting to a point. And sometimes, as I'm saying with this garbage receptacle, because there's this metaphor has so many beautiful teaching points to it. But sometimes what you think is that space of emptying out because it's empty, it's full, and maybe it's full for a reason. Maybe it's been saturated and used and it's time to go over here. Or maybe it's time to deal with that. Or maybe it's time to deal with the junk in your hands. Maybe it's time to say, why do I have these lies? Why am I believing this? It's just pausing for a moment, and instead of just letting it go and dumping it, maybe it's about, why do I even hold on to this to begin with? Or not hold on to it, but why is it even here to begin with? And I'm not doing a full teaching on it, so I'm not going to express it too much. But this one download came from someone who said, yes, I'm willing to see what God is up to. I'm willing to be uncomfortable. And we don't know what's in store until we enter into it. And I'll close with, I just want to think to make sure I was clear. It's the power of the intentionality of the community. The community that God is asking us to be part of. If he's asking you, then you're going to feel the confirmation. You're going to feel, maybe a little bit of nerves, because I'm nervous. What I experienced in session 1, I'm like, I'm already sweating going, wow, I think God's going to ask me to do something even more. And if you kind of followed my path, I'm not afraid of the tension. And that he calls me into these wackadoo, like, yes, no, over here, because my humanness gets in the way. But I think there's even more. I think I'm going to be even more uncomfortable, y'all, no matter what, and even if. So I'm coming in. I said yes to facilitating this group. And I realized the garbage that came to the surface, just even making the decision. And so I pause and I press in and I'm like, okay, what comes up for me? And then, of course, I said yes. And so did these women. They said yes too. And it's being in the group. It's being intentional in the group. That's like, I don't know if I'm repeating myself, but I'm going to keep going with what I'm thinking. It's the intentionality of the group that's like, wow, it's who shows up. That then it's not just the teaching that's planned and in the co-laboring that I have intended based on the 8 weeks. It's the conversation. It's the fact that we're all sharing this slice of heaven. And it was mind blowing. I mean, there were tech in the most minute ways. It was so clear how God was speaking to us. It was ridiculously mind blowing. And maybe I feel this way because I was so scared to put the course out. Still, I'm afraid. But I'm braving my abundance. I say yes, even though I get a little sweaty and I get a little nervous. Like, will I measure up? Will it be satisfactory? What will I do with my junk? What if it da, 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 da. And I brave my abundance. I do it anyway. Maybe I'm feeling this way because I'm like, I am so glad I pushed through to experience what was on the other side of that fear, that lie, that limiting belief. And so if you still want to be part of the group, I'm actually begging you to consider it and pray about it, because I know it will bless your life. It might expose the garbage. It might expose that the receptacle is full. Receptacle. Am I saying that's such a weird word? Receptacle. Is that even the right way of saying it? You know how you say those words a bunch of times? You're like, what is that word? Okay. Anyway, the garbage can. What do I believe? about God as the person who can handle all my garbage? Do I feel like he's full and he's already preoccupied and he doesn't have the ability? Do I feel like, well, I'm too much for that group, or my junk is too big, my garbage is too big to be part of that group? We're not even going to be talking about your garbage, because this is a no matter what and even if kind of group. This is a brave your abundance. This is all of it. We're rising above it and saying, I know I can still dream. I can still, anyway, you get it. I'm now repeating myself. So if you feel the sense of peace to still join the group, please. All the Saturday morning sessions are recorded. I really want you to be there on Saturday mornings, but if you can't, you will still get your spiritual socks and your natural socks knocked off. You will. And it will be recorded. It will be posted already. It's posted in the group. So the group can re-listen to it some other point in the day if they'd like to, or in the week, or in the months. It'll be there. We're archiving all these conversations. So don't let a Saturday morning at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time tell you you can't sign up. That's a limiting belief. That's a left side of your brain kind of strategy to stop you from being part of this heavenly, glorious, majestic realm. So yes, you can still sign up. Yes, you can pay attention, listen to it, and be blessed later. Yes, there's not just the teachings from Saturday morning and the inspiration from the group participating on Saturday mornings. There will be more, and there will be others. God will download. Some of my typical Facebook lives will not, or YouTube, because I do these on YouTube as well. Instead of doing them there, I will be specifically talking about these things just for that group. So there'll be other options. We're going to be talking about identity. And if you've done an identity prayer with me and you've heard who God says you are, we're going to do it again, and we're going to do it. Maybe it kind of expand upon what you've already done. So we're going to hear who God says we are. And yes, you can hear who God says you are. You want to try it out. It's worth the price of admission just to be sure and hearing from him. Oh my goodness, that was such a personal word for me. Then again, if you don't talk like this, if you're not even sure of your faith, and if it doesn't measure up to what, or match up to what the language I'm using, sign up anyway, because that's a left brain concern. Sign up anyway. I think I answered all the questions. I love you. I know, Ariel, I know it's 6 a.m. girl. I tend to think about my Eastern Standard Time plans, and I'm like, okay, what would this be like in different time zones? And you're over there, you and Jen, and you guys are over there. But that's why I'm going to do the recordings, because it's available in all those different ways. But girl, come in your pajamas and your coffee and your stinky breath. Come with us at 6 a.m. I love you too. So do you have any other questions before I close this out? I'm looking at my notes. There's so much more that I received from them, and I'll do other lives. I'll share other insights, but I just feel in my spirit like to stop now. It's just amazing how of all the hundreds of thousands of thoughts we have in our mind, how many of them are lies. And that's not even as scary as how many of those lies or limiting beliefs actually convince us to stop. And we believe them because we want to be more comfortable. So we believe the lies, and they halt us and they keep us stuck. And you know what? They even keep us stuck, as I already said, in good stuff. Because God's wanting to create more. He's wanting to show us more. But this is good. I don't want to leave the good. This is good, and my marriage is good. I don't need to have that conversation. And y'all see, I can just keep going. I got to stop. There's so many lies and limiting beliefs. I want to help expose them, and I want to walk with you. Y'all know you can trust me as far as when it comes to brave your abundance, because that I live this. And I'm willing to continuously be uncomfortable because my soul thinks I'm uncomfortable, but my spirit is doing Snoop dance and my spirit's so excited. And my soul's like, yeah, but no, yeah, buts. We're flipping the script on yeah, buts. All right, y'all, I got to close my mouth. Y'all got to say, Tara, it's enough. I'll save more for later. Okay, so if you want to sign up, go to abundantlyme.org. Just read it. Just read the description. Sign up. Pick your cost of investment. Talk to me about stuff. Call me. Email me. If you don't know my number, I'm not giving it out right here, but if you know my number, you can call, you can text me. Instant message me. Here's the other thing. One more thing. One more. For those of you who know me, who are friends with me, who went to high school with me, I love how social media is reconnecting and refreshing relationships. When I was acting like a ding dong in high school and I was missing so many beautiful people that I'm walking in the halls with, but I had lies and limiting beliefs. And, you know, you can't be friends with everybody. But I mean, I didn't get to know so many people because, you know, this is my world. And if you're like, I don't know, can I interact with Tara that way? Here's the thing. I am so different than I was in my teens. I'm so different than who I was in my 20s. I'm so different than who I was in my 30s. And this is not guilt and shame. I'm so different than who I was in my late 30s and my early 40s and now almost 50. And in next month and in next year, I'm going to be different again. And I'm going to continue to brave my abundance so that I become more and more Christ-like and less Tara-like. Now, there's a whole story, there's a whole teaching on that, but I'm going to leave it there. So please, if you're like, I don't know, it's kind of hard, or that would be embarrassing to interact with her that way. I know her. We've interacted this way before. I don't know. Is it weird to be a friend and be in her group? Y'all, you can pay attention. If you want, if you go to abundantlymE.org and you read the description and you ask me some questions and you're still not sure if some of the lies or limiting beliefs are, do I show up like myself with Tara, or I don't know the other group members? That's left brain thinking. So we're learning to get out of our left brain. No, not get out of. We're learning to appreciate what our left brain is trying to do and tap into the joy and the freedom and the creativity and the intuitive of the right brain. It's so amazing, y'all. It is so amazing. I'm going to go now. I'm going to tell you one more. I have when I end, I have 3 endings. This is my 3rd ending. There is so much in my life, not so much. There's a few things in my life that are not yet cleaned up and orderly. And so those of you who've been following my path, there are some still real struggles that I'm contending with, and I'm interceding on behalf of some people and dealing with. But as I've been braving my abundance and as I've been following one voice, one voice, one voice, one heartbeat, one set of wisdom, one truth, and stayed focused on that. No, not everything gets cleared up and cleaned up and tidied up. But I am definitely have this awkward sense of peace and joy. And I have this pure relationship with the one that no matter what, and even if, and so I'm all jovial like this, no matter what's going on. And y'all don't even know all the stuff that's going on. We never know what's really going on. Well, I tell you almost everything, but my point is I also have been experiencing miracles, healings, signs, and wonders. Because I'm learning to get out of my comfort zone, say yes to divine invitations in the no matter what and even if. And my faith takes risk. And every single time I have seen a sign, a miracle, or a wonder. Every time, hundreds of them in real time, right now, on this side of heaven. And I've walked through hell on this side of heaven. I know the difference. That's probably why he's asking me to do such a course, because there's an authority behind the space that I'm co-creating with you and with him. You can trust me. But I'm telling you, don't miss out on walking through this side of heaven for any left brain lies, or lies in general, memories, limiting beliefs that might be holding you back from a whole new set of goodness. I'm now really going. Okay. I'm really going to hang up. Bye, Julie. Bye, Val. Bye, Sarah. Hello, everyone. Hi, Carol. I know, girl. Tugging at you. It's a spirit. It's a spirit tugging at you. Bye, Marcia. Bye, Robin. All right. You hang up. Please, can you hang up on me so I can actually hang up? I got to go now. I love you so much. Thanks for listening. Bye.